For the QBL. Tonight we reached the critical stage with the final four being achieved. And tonight from Townsville Stadium, or Star FM Stadium, we have the Townsville Flames finished first on the ladder, taking on the Rockhampton Cyclones, who had an upset win last week coming from sixth base, beating the South, with Ipswich taking on Southern Districts, and we'll give updates throughout the broadcast tonight of that score while we're going. So about to get underway here. Referee Matty Crowley about to throw the ball in the air. Just one last little wardrobe malfunction for Rockhampton, getting themselves ready.
Look, I'd really love to see Michaela Cox get a great start tonight. And come finals, I'm sure she's ready to step it up as she comes up with the ball out of the jump.
Garvin gets the tip against the smaller Taylor Evans, as you would expect. And the Flames looking to go to work straight out of that very familiar set we've seen from them, with Cox coming over the flare screen. Dodged a little bit of a bullet there. It looked like it was going to be a turnover, but Ellenberg must have just got a little tip on the ball as it was going out. So Flames ball on a short shot clock of 8 seconds here.
The other thing I'd love to see is Darcy take Bogue. I think she has some foot speed over her. So Bogue is definitely big and strong, but some foot speed might hurt her.
First shot long by Garvin, and Rockhampton will get their first opportunity. With Dowdell guarded by Brennan at the high post. block shot, but she gets it back and then eases her way into the paint for the first score of the game.
That was a smart play. She did get it blocked and let it drop to the floor. That's it's not a travel. As we see Darcy for three. I don't know if she meant to bank it, but as all good shooters say, I'll take it.
They all count as long as they go through the rim. So Garvin with her first points with that three-point basket. Bogue now attacks Garvin off the perimeter, and Garvin picks up her first foul. Bogue will go to the line for the bonus.
And that's a bad early foul for Darcy. You know, she's the premier big on the floor, and she's going to have to be careful not to get too many more of them, especially if Bogue decides to attack early like she did then.
Bogue makes a free throw. The Cyclones with the early lead here.
It's been a game I've been a little worried about. I've seen that, and as I said, I'd like to see Darcy attack, and up she goes. Unfortunately misses.
Gets the O board though, and kicks out Brennan on the attack against Dowdell there. No foul. And Rockhampton on the leak out now through Ellensburg. Finds Taylor Evans for the open jumper. No good, but Dowdell to secure the board again. Missed three by Rocky.
Rocky being really aggressive early. It is a different team to what we saw the other week up here, or month.
Well, Coach Muggeridge, when I talked to him, all he talked about was that he really feels that they're offensively humming right now, and that's why they're in the position they are. He thinks their shot selection's really good. They're making smart decisions, and that's why they're still in this race.
Makes sense. Great play. Great play. Darcy
off the out of bounds, they find Garvin for the open two. And Townsville extending some pressure. Ellensburg working off the high on ball. No good. Low board, defensive ball by Garvin. And the Flames with their first opportunity to take the lead here. Cox looks to attack Ellenberg, and a little holding foul. So it'll be Flames ball from the sideline here.
Really good to see Darcy dominating the boards early in this game too. I hope that stays on for the game because her height is needed.
Brennan finds Garvin off the back screen, but Garvin just a little bit too much mustard on that, overcooks it. Now Ellenberg, we haven't seen her impose herself as yet. Bogue launches the long two, which is no good. The Flames off and running. Brennan again attacking Dowdell. I think that's something the Flames have got in their repertoire for tonight to try and make sure Dowdell's fit enough to actually be out there. Off the O board, Beck attacks the rim, gets fouled, and will go to the free throw line.
Look, and Stella is going to have to pick up some of that slack for Mila, and that's the classic drive she is great at. I love seeing that. And the play earlier saw Darcy again tap that thing out as a rebounder. So great to see her doing that. She's going to need some support. And I also really love the way that Brennan's attacking the hoop.
So Beck makes both. The Flames with their first lead of the game. Then apply full court pressure, just a little deflection. It'll be Rockhampton ball from the sideline.
Yeah, Michaela might have got away with one there, but the guard's getting frustrated. You know, she just had a foul before and then not one called for her this time. So might be able to get into her head.
Dowdell with a pull-up too from the elbow. Evens things up. Cox finds Garvin off that wing on ball. She just forces a pass to Brennan there, turnover. Now Rockhampton through Blair, look to attack the rim. Foul called on the ground, I believe. And it'll be baseline ball for Rockhampton here. First substitution for the game with Andrews coming in for Walsh for the Flames.
Bo Gurley looks really strong and confident there.
Ellenberg, first big shot for the game, makes a nice 3.
And she's really getting annoyed with no calls. So that one I could probably look confident there.
Ellenberg, first big shot for the game, makes a nice 3.
She's really getting annoyed with no call.
Nice little Euro step. Can't finish though, and Rockhampton come up with the rebound. Ellenberg launches another 3, short on this one.
Great kick ahead by Michaela. That's a great idea. It was a little long, definitely Michaela's fault, but hey, that's what you want as a coach because that can result in layups.
It'll be interesting to see where Townsville missed. That's Mila Goodchild, what she's made herself known for this team this year is getting out in transition and getting a lot of those points. So they will miss that tonight. They really need their wings to pick up that slack.
Absolutely.
Ellenberg finds Bogue, and Bogue's called for the charge.
Yep. Absolutely, and that call I believe is correct. Yep. Absolutely, and last time we saw her, and you know, I like her being aggressive, so one charge wouldn't matter to me.
Flames ball here, working through Beck, looks for the open 3. Doesn't look at it though, moves the ball on. Cox found it in the corner. The shot off the supports, so no score there. It'll be Cyclones ball.
Look, one of the things that concerns me is Darcy's the main rebounder here, and she's getting a free rein to the boards. If they focus on blocking her out, there could be trouble.
So Ellenberg and Dowdell looking to work the 2-man game on the wing here. Ellenberg finds Dowdell, she launches the 3 and unsuccessful. Another shot off the support.
It's unusual to see that back-to-back down the court, but obviously with the way the rims are built here, if it bounces high, it's a chance of hitting them.
And subs rolling through, we've got Morrow entering the game for Rocky and Fowler entering the game for Townsville. I'd expect Townsville might try and look to get the ball to Garvin here a little bit with Morrow defending her.
Yeah, the mismatch there was on, and unfortunately Stella missed that, so definite mismatch.
So Evans declines the on ball and goes baseline, and Beck called for the body foul there.
Is that her second now?
And that's the 3rd foul on the Flames, 4 to Rockhampton in this first quarter.
That's going to send Stella to the bench, being her second foul in the first quarter.
And Walsh comes back into the game for Beck. Morrow handoff to Blair is nothing but net. And Rockhampton extend their lead out to 6 points now. The Flames just a little bit stagnant offensively, only 7 points so far. We have seen them have some first quarter struggles at times this season. Another foul called there on Rockhampton. That's their 5th team foul, so Fowler will make her way to the foul line.
Yeah, look, Townsville aren't taking advantage of their strengths. I definitely need to see Michaela Cox start scoring. You know, I need to see the mismatches for Darcy recognise and go to. Now, I love that move Alex Fowler made. She needs to be the next most aggressive player on the court. But we need something out of Michaela, and we need to go to Darcy.
So Fowler misses the first, but corrects on the second. And the Flames set up in their full court pressure here. Ellenberg just gets around the side of it, and that leads to a leak out for Rocky. Evans from the short corner, no good. But big O board by Bogue. Ellenberg then launches off the on ball, no good. Another O board for Bogo. And Blair misses on the kick out 3. So the Flames dodge some bullets there.
They're not going to die wondering, but if Townsville don't block out, they're going to just keep giving them opportunity. That'll really hurt.
So Fowler hands off to Andrews. Finds Walsh open on the perimeter, knocks down the 3. And we're back to a 2-point game.
Rocky have definitely addressed this press and been aggressive early in it. A couple of times I've seen that player, as we mentioned through the year, down the back open. If they see that and kick it ahead, there'll be layups. So Townsville will have to be careful.
Blair came wide open off that on-ball screen for two. The Townsville will need to adjust that on-ball D, but thankfully for the Townsville fans, Cox converts in transition at the other end. Ellenberg pulls up in transition for the long two, and the scoring's just clicked into gear here.
As I said, they're not going to die wondering. They're getting them up.
So
Here's
Cox
what we want.
gets the switch there with off the on-ball. They find Garvin out of the switch, and then foul called on the ground, but it will be penalty shots. So Garvin will go to the foul line.
And that's exactly what I need. Darcy's the premier player in this whole game. You got to get her the ball. The next most premier player, obviously, being Michaela.
Foul called on Taylor Evans there. That's her first.
Taylor Evans, of course, being daughter of the great Jenny Reisner, once a national Australian team player in Olympics and World Championships. Here watching her daughter tonight.
The big concern for Rockhampton right now is it's sort of slipped past our radar a bit, but Ellenberg's actually got 3 fouls already.
Okay.
So 3 fouls, and Coach Muggeridge is just leaving her in the game, so preparing to take that risk. The Flames missed through a nice block there from Bogue on Walsh, but then a turnover on the outlet. Ellenberg just can't quite drag that in. We'll see Brennan come back into the game now for Fowler. There you see Townsville with the ball with Michaela Cox. She realises Ellenberg's got 3 fouls, so called for the clear out and attacked her, which led to that help for Andrews to hit the 3 in the corner.
Andrews has absolutely nailed a great shot there, but straight into defence on Brooke Blair. She's tagging her like a AFL football player. Does not want her to get the ball.
Nice attack through the elbow there by Morrow. Finish at the rim for 2. And the Cyclones leading by 3. Cox attacks, no good. The rebounding contest leads to a ball being knocked out by Rocky, and it will be Flames ball from the sideline.
Credit to Darcy again on the boards, but I don't see anyone else contributing, so that worries me.
So Cox gets the ball back from the inbound. Garvin, nice little jumper from the short corner for 2. Great screen there by Morrow. Ellenberg just a little bit late on the pass. Leads to the turnover, and now the Flames in transition. Shot blocked by Evans on Andrews, and now it's the Cyclones off and running again. They're getting a lot of success out of this middle on ball, at least leading the first good shot opportunities. Townsville really need to find a better way to defend the on ball right now. O-board missed opportunity. The Flames end up coming up with it in the end as Evans deflects the ball out.
They were probably pretty lucky that I'm sure Rocky's shooting percentage is well down, which has usually been Townsville's game. So that would be hurting us if they were making those buckets.
So Cox, loose pass. Ellenberg gets a tip on that. It's a turnover. Now Cyclones find Blair in transition. It's no good. And the Flames now push out 4 on 2. Find Cox open on the wing. And misses the 3, but nice tip from Walsh to Garvin on the O-board. 2 points, and now we have a timeout called by Rockhampton with Townsville Flames leading 22-21. Interesting timeout, Shane. 33 seconds left in the quarter. very heavily right now. I'm wondering if she's got a little bug or something like that. And
I thought the same of Bogue. I don't think it's a bug. I just think it's the tempo again.
okay.
They definitely do look fatigued. I wouldn't think that's a rest time out with 30 seconds to go, though, but you never know.
So Rocky ball here. We'll have one more possession for Townsville, possibly after this. And then foul called on Hayley Andrews, blocking foul. That'll be Townsville's 4th foul. First for Andrews. Now to be Cyclones ball from the sideline. In control of the last 15 seconds on the shot clock here. Evans finds Ellenberg, heavily guarded by Cox. Launches a shot over a heavy contest. And it's no good. Bogue gets the tip over the back, and Flames ball with 7 seconds on the clock here. So Flames look to get moving quickly through Andrews. No good with the little turnover, and that'll be the end of the first quarter with the Townsville Flames leading Rockhampton Cyclones 22-21.
Just looking at some of the issues for me, blocking out Rockhampton. You got to block them out.
Scorer Darcy Garvin with 11 points. Not much support too much so far. It's spread scorers all over the place. Walsh with 3. Trying to slow down the Townsville running game.
Yeah, and I think that's why the Rocky players are a bit fatigued, because they have addressed the press, so they've increased their tempo to stop that press from being set, but their aggression at trying to get up early shots too. So we'll see if they can continue to play at that speed.
So it's Rockhampton to get us underway in the second quarter, trailing by 1. Working in through a horn set now. With Dowdell kicking back to Ellenberg. They find Blair off the turnout. Brennan does a good job just bodying up in front of her. Now shot clock starting to run low for Rockhampton. Evans forced into a contested jumper at the elbow, but it is good.
It's a tough shot. Take the buckets. If that starts happening, Townsville will be in trouble.
Now Brennan looking for the answering long jumper. Hits it over Dowdell. So 2 heavily contested shots to start off this second quarter. And Bogue finds Dowdell. Deep seal against Brennan. Brennan took away the right hand she tried to go back to, but then on the defensive rebound had to just tip the ball away, and it'll be Cyclones ball from the baseline.
Battle of the bigs down there. Very interesting. Neither one will give an inch.
Dowdell hands off to Blair. No good with that shot.
Great job by Darcy blocking out there. Takes Bogue completely out of the contest.
Now the on-ball Brennan now found open for 3. Unsuccessful, but it will be Flames ball from the baseline off the rebound. Garvin going to work in the low post, kicks it out, finds Walsh. No good, and big board by Bogue.
Dell did a great job of blocking Darcy out there, so maybe Coach Mudridge addressed that. His talk to the team was very short, so I think he's pretty happy with where they're at.
No good from Dowdell. Now the Flames through Garvin for 3, way off. And Ellenberg now attacking in transition.
1 on 3, no hesitation.
The score just drawing up a little bit for both teams here.
So having Stella Beck back on is great too. She had to sit early with foul trouble, so hopefully she can help the thing open up a bit for Townsville. Oh, there could have been a great feed to Darcy early there, but Mikala missed it.
Finds Brennan at the elbow for 2. Something that surprised me right now is the Flames haven't looked to attack Ellenberg with those 3 fouls. You know, bar that one possession where Cox called for the clear out, they've just allowed her just to take up space on the defensive end.
Absolutely, yeah.
Bogue no good. Garvin gets the board.
Especially in that break situation. I think Mikala could get her on the hip and draw a foul. Nice drive, Stella.
Stella Beck for 2, and the Flames extend. They lead now by 5. Ellenberg finds Blair, open on the wing, no good. And now the Flames are off running.
You can see
4
Rocky,
on 3.
Yeah, you can see Rocky really starting to hit the wall now with that up and down game. That's not the game they want.
Poor pass by Beck there. And now Rockhampton make them pay back down the other end. Now Beck looking to attack through the elbow. Evans just reaches in, picks up the foul.
And that's that fatigue I'm talking about. You can see Rocky huffing and puffing. Look at him with all 5 players, hands on hips. You know, they don't want to play that game with Townsville, so I'm sure Rocky's coach is going to have to start subbing very shortly.
Well, they've only gone 1 into their bench so far, so if they keep that pattern, you'd think with the Flames' pace that they play out, they should be able to run away in the end.
And that's what's going to win it for the Flames, is the speed game. But if Rocky can slow it down and get it into their bigs, they could change the course of it.
Garvin with a nice finish through the middle there. Flames leading by 5. Ellenberg pull-up jumper at the elbow. Nice shot.
Yeah, that's tough, D. You know, Mikala had a hand in her face, so credit to her. Good shot.
And Rocky back into a zone now. Just throwing a different look at the Flames. Walsh turns down what was probably an open 3 in the corner. They find Garvin at the high post. Nice pass to Fowler.
Now that was a clear foul on the wrist there, but the only reason she got the chance to reach it was because Fowler dribbled the ball. She should have went straight up with it.
Should have taken the first opportunity. Now Ellenberg against Walsh, no good.
Great
rebound
block out
by Beck.
Stella Beck there to get the rebound, yes.
And the Flames off running again. Beck pulls up for 2. She's picking up a little bit of that slack in the transition game right now.
And there is definite fatigue there. I've just seen Ellenberg dribble over to the coach and call for a timeout. She is smoked. She needs a break.
Dowdell no good from the elbow, and the Flames now looking to push heavily. Beck open on the wing for 3, knocks it down.
And there's the timeout. They are puffing. They are going to have to address the speed of this game because they can't keep Again, Ellenberg especially is ready for that press. As soon as she catches it, she tries to jet it up the floor, but she can't keep working at that pace. So the press is doing its job, even though it's not getting turnovers, it's fatiguing her.
So sub for Rocky here with
Chloe Morrow.
with Clifford coming into the game and Morrow coming back in the game. But Clifford's first minutes now with Bogue and Evans going back to the bench. Morrow against Fowler. Nice spin move back baseline for Fowler, or for Morrow.
Oh, ordinary pass, but somehow Fowler comes up with it. And the lane is wide open for Stella Beck. Easy as you like. 2 points. Thank you very much.
Now 10-point lead here for the Flames.
So again, that press, even though Ellenberg jets it up the floor, it's doing a job for us. It's fatiguing her. Great defense. Great defense. And Towns will end up with it.
So you see Beck gets that charge foul called there, so just got herself into great position. Now we'll see the Flames looking to extend their lead, leading by 4 minutes. We're leading with 4 minutes to go in this second quarter. Beck gets into the seam, finds Cox through a deflected pass, and Cox gets to the rim for 2. And real trouble times for Cyclones right now with this lead out to 12. Ellenberg's playing with her thumb. She looks like she's got an issue away from the ball.
Definitely looks hurt, doesn't she?
Dowdle
She's still out. She's. I don't think she's going to be able to continue.
And now the Flames off and running again, 4 on 2. Andrews at the rim, picks up the foul on Blair, and she'll go to the foul line.
Ellenberg's heading toward the bench, trying to see what she's done with that thumb.
Looks like a thumb. She's grabbing that left-hand thumb and shaking her hand.
She's not going off, so certainly took herself out of 2 plays, so we'll see what happens.
So she makes the first. And the refs haven't noticed Ellenberg's actually off the court right now, down in the corner. The Cyclones only with 4 players on the court.
She's hiding. She's going to sneak in.
Free throw proceeds.
Breakaway layup.
And the ball, it's underway here now with Rockhampton with only 4 players on the court. As Ellenberg sitting off the sideline. The Cyclones never called.
Coach hasn't realised that Ellenberg's off, being treated, and Rockhampton have gone to war with 4 players.
They never called a sub, so now we'll see the Cyclones send a player into the game.
Definitely
and there's a
lack of communication somewhere.
Flop warning there for Townsville. I think on Beck picking up her 3rd foul.
And that's going to hurt Townsville because Beck's really created with some of that middle penetration. But going back to the Ellenberg walking off the court, somehow everyone missed it, and everyone but us up here, we have a vantage point.
The referee did see it from down the sideline, but they just proceeded to go on with the game anyway. I would have thought with Rockhampton with possession of the ball and a player out of court, they would have blown the whistle to pull it up. Blocking foul called there on the Cyclones as Cox tried to attack the rim. Foul called on Morrow.
This should be 2 shots because she's actually picked the dribble up into a 1-2 step, but the ref's called baseline.
So Bogue and Evans coming back into the game now. Clifford and Dowdell go to the bench. Flames leading by 13 with 3.5 to go. Garvin finds Cox wide open on the perimeter. Open 3.
There you go. Takes Cox to 5 for the quarter, and something Towns will definitely need.
And now a 16-point margin to the Flames. They pull down the defensive rebound, but Fowler just fumbles it and it falls out of bounds. It'll be Cyclones' ball.
Again, I go back to if Fowler blocks out, she eliminates that contest. So we've got to block them out, have the ball drop into our lap.
And Brennan gets sent straight into the game to respond to that mistake by Fowler. Cyclones turnover. And the Flames just slowing the tempo here to make sure they get a good shot. Walsh declines the on ball. Turns it back to Brennan, who finds Andrews wide open on the opposite wing. Knockdown, another three, and this was the concern with those timeouts. This game now well and truly getting away from Rocky. Ellenberg back into the game, finds Morrow, no good, but the Flames knock it out of bounds.
Morrow early has been attacking. She's been aggressive. You know, we saw that spin move earlier by her, and but she just can't finish. So she'll now take a seat, and Dell will come back in. Rocky cannot wait for half time to turn up. So
missed by Ellenberg, and the Flames. Slower tempo here. You would have thought they'd be foot on the gas right now, but they find Garvin one-on-one seam. Seal against Evans deep. Foul called on Evans, and Garvin will go to the foul line for 2 shots.
Yeah, I'm going to call that a pretty soft foul there. But again, that's exactly where you want the ball, right in the middle of the charge circle to your best player. Boom, up strong.
Look, the only thing we don't know is if there was any communication from the ref before the ball went in. Maybe she was already being spoken to about a hands-on, so we'll give the ref the benefit there. But Garvin makes the first, and it's a 20-point margin now. It is soft, you're right.
Darcy takes care of both of them, though. And this game is really blowing out.
Ellenberg finds Blair, blocked by Garvin.
Darcy made her eat leather. That thing was up in the air, her hand came across and just went, nope, good night. Taste it.
And now Rocky with the simple turnover, not even a touch on the ball on the inbound pass. And it'll be Flames ball from the baseline. 2 minutes to go, leading by 21. All the damage done in this second quarter. Cyclones only with 7 points so far in this quarter.
Yeah, completely different team to the first quarter.
Brennan open for 3. Confidence is going for the Flames right now. And they've brought up the 50 with 1:40 to go in the first half.
To be honest, I think one of the strategies is step off Brennan and let her have it. And she's answered the call tonight.
Dowdell answers with 2, and you're exactly right, Shane. Speaking with Coach Muggeridge before the game, he just simply identified that he thought Brennan was a weak link. So they've taken that risk. It hasn't worked out well for them tonight.
Oh, she has really punished them.
Garvin with the 2 from the elbow.
Yeah.
And the Cyclones looking just to try and get a couple of buckets here just to get some confidence going into the second half. Nice left-hand finish by Bogue.
Well, that's the first real attack I've seen from Bogue this quarter. You know, first quarter she was really aggressive.
Turnover by the Flames, so Cyclones just a little bit of momentum here. They'd like to convert another stop score here. Bogue launches the 3. Unsuccessfully, and now Cox on the run. One-on-one against Bogue in the open court. Makes the 2.
All of a sudden, Michaela Cox was 7. It's much better seeing that out of her. 7 points a quarter would certainly keep me happy as a coach.
Dowdell misses with her shot, and then Evans picks up this soft foul. So 2 soft fouls for her.
That was a silly one.
In the last couple, and now that will be Evans' 4th foul in the first half. So Rockhampton in a lot of hurt right here. They're down 24. Evans with 4 fouls. Ellenberg with 3. She's done a great job of staying out of foul trouble since picking up those early fouls. But the Flames now go to the line to extend this lead further.
Taylor, like any other player, you've got to pat him on the back for going to the boards. But when you've got 3 fouls, you can't have that sweep across the head. You know, it's, again, great idea, but you've got to be very careful with that many fouls in the first half.
Andrews makes both. 26-point lead to the Flames. And last shot here for Rocky, you would believe. Just deflected out of bounds, and it'll be 6.8 seconds left on the clock. Cyclones ball. Ellenberg looking to get in the last shot, finds Dowdle open from the 45. She misses. And that'll be half time here from Star FM Stadium in Townsville. The Townsville Flames leading 58-32. Shane, your thoughts from that second quarter?
Look, it's pretty easy. If and I talk about Bogue being aggressive once in that whole second quarter compared to her first quarter. I talk about the way that Ellenberg got it down the court and they're getting up shots. That put Townsville on the back foot. On the flip side, Townsville have now got some scorers, and that is really hurting Rocky. So Townsville have answered the call. Rocky have hit the wall.
So the Flames leading 58-32 in the other semi-final down in Ipswich. The second-ranked side leading the fourth-ranked side, the Ipswich Force leading 51-44. So another high-scoring affair down there. But it looks like at the moment all roads lead to Townsville for next week's grand final. The Cyclones going to need to pull off a massive second half here to try and get back into this game. We'll speak with you shortly. Welcome back to Star FM Stadium in Townsville for semi-final number 1 in the Women's QBL. The first place Flames versus the 6th place Rockets, and those placings from the regular season very indicative of the scoreboard at half-time, with the Flames leading 58-32 over Rockhampton. Shane, I didn't get a chance to catch Coach Muggeridge at half-time. You know, they were a little bit late, just come back out from the change rooms, but any ideas from your perspective what they might try and do to drag themselves back into this game?
Yeah, they're going to have to slow the game down somehow. I would expect if they can't keep up with them with the foot speed and that, you might start to see a lot of zone. I don't know that they're capable of pressing, but they're going to have to press to get something back on them some way, somehow. But if I'm Coach Mike St. Moritz, I keep the heat on and actually start subbing and getting some players some game time prior to the grand final series.
So I did catch Mike and just said to him, mate, anything, and he just said, look, same menu as the first half. That's all they'll be trying to do is, you know, make sure they're not trying to do anything too clever or just play the game that they've played through most of the season. And then all things being right, they should secure themselves this home grand final for next week. So just quick update again from the other semi-final down in Ipswich. The second place Force leading the 4th place Spartans there by 7, 51-44 at half time. So at the moment, with the potential is going to be a North versus South final. We're looking at the Flames versus Ipswich right now, but District's still in with very much a fighting chance, where Rocky are going to need to pull off what you would think a miracle here to come out of this one.
Yeah, if they play at the tempo they did in that quarter, they're in big trouble. But you know, go back to their first quarter. They were at them. They were aggressive. They controlled the tempo of the game, and I'm sure that's what Coach Muggeridge will be asking for again. It'll also be very interesting to see how Ellenberg's thumb is, whether she's able to go or whether it's been magically rubbed out at half time. See how Ellenberg's thumb is, whether she's
pick
able
up
to
if
go
Ellenberg's still got that tape on her thumb,
been
or
magically
whether
rubbed out at half time.
she's playing without it.
See how Ellenberg's thumb is,
Trying
whether
to
she's
pick up
able to
if
go, or
that thumb has got that tape on her thumb,
been
or it's still there, just on the tip of it. So that Flames ball here to start off with. Garvin on the attack straight away at Bogue. Retreats out, but they find back on a nice cut to the rim. 2 points. And
that's why it's so important she's in the game. She needs to make sure she doesn't pick up another silly foul, because she really creates for them.
Rockhampton look to find Bogue. She kicks it to Dowdell at the high post. And then just a loose pass, didn't even look. Thought Bogue would be there. Turnover.
Yeah, that's not a nice pass at all. That's eye contact before you throw.
The Flames, the foul picked up there on Blair.
Geez, that's a soft one. Rocky people will be unhappy with that.
Little hold as while she was trying to come off the on ball. And the Flames now, Cox, one-on-one against Ellenberg at the top of the keyway. Few little steps around and pivots, no good. Short on the shot, and it's Cyclones' ball.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Michaela take a more aggressive drive to the basket rather than the dance around steps. But you know, good to see her at least trying to attack.
I think she's worried about Ellenberg's length, you know, with all those pivots and steps. Blair finds Clifford deep in the corner, open for 3.
The Rocky bench certainly not giving up. They're all off their feet supporting, so that's good to see from Rockhampton. They have not thrown the towel in.
So Clifford in the game here with Evans on the bench. So maybe Evans, it's probably just a 4 foul situation there where they're having to sit her out.
That's what it'd be, I'd have no doubt.
Blair misses with that with that shot. And the Flames now in transition through Beck, pull up for 2. And the Flames out 27 points now. Loose pass by Rocky, retrieved by Clifford. Finds Bogue, nice, at the rim. Brendan just couldn't resist sticking the hand in there. Picks up the foul, and Bogue will earn herself 2 shots.
That was a great pass, and you know, Bogue just heading to the bucket as she should be after a nice screen, and a little bit of a lazy reach in there by Brennan. Bogue to the line for 2.
She misses on the first.
Very rush shot. Dribble, hoik it up there.
Good with the second. The Flames Cox just picked up the ball in a little bit of trouble, but finds Walsh.
Good to see Blair applying some full court pressure on her own. McCullough misses an easy one there.
The Flames simple cuts from the weak side right now. Rocky just a little bit late to react on some of those. And now we see the Cyclones missed shot and the Flames push out 3-on-1 in transition. Beck misses at the rim with the first, gets the O board. Garvin misses on her putback. And Cox decides to pull it out and run an offense.
Yeah, there's a good find on the mismatch who then...
Garvin kick out to Walsh for 3.
Absolutely. Great find on the Darcy feedback there, and of course Darcy's smart enough to realise
Beck with
double
the ball.
team.
And transition game again here, 3-on-2. Beck, nice little Euro step, makes the bucket, and now the Flames lead by 31, just 3 minutes into this third quarter, and we are pretty
was going to comment, there's a couple of fouls Rocky have got away with. You know, if anything, the refs are probably feeling sorry for him. But going to Stella Beck just has an eye for the basket. She puts her eye on it and penetrates, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. She's going to get that shot up, and it's working for her.
So you see that Rockhampton bench there, and you see the look on the face. Find any sort of an answer. You know, they've been hit by a bit of a juggernaut with the Flames tonight. 67 points out of only 23 minutes right now. So they're well on track to bring up the 100 tonight.
Yeah, as I said, the nail's very close to being in the coffin. I'd love to start seeing a few subs, getting a few people some clock, and making sure your good players are fresh for next week's final.
The Cyclones looking through Dowdell deep in the keyway against Brennan. Brennan knows she come back to the right hand again, but Dowdell just muscled up and pushed it through. Now back on the attack, just easy as you like, to the rim. No containment there by the Cyclones.
That is a major concern. Major concern. If you can drive through like that and lay it up, you are in all sorts of trouble. And it's funny, I was working with some young boys today, and one of the first things I try and teach her, it's like a retreat step. Retreat, protect the bucket, get back. And yeah, it's a lost skill.
So there's a little bit of a delay down in the Ipswich Spartans semi-final. They still haven't got back onto the court after half-time yet. Apparently there's an issue with the game clock, so their third quarter hasn't resumed yet. We'll keep you in touch with that game once it gets back underway. Flames find Garvin on the block, another 2 points. And this is just becoming a procession now for Townsville.
Wow.
Dowdell misses with the first, but gets a putback. The Flames 100 miles an hour back down the court. Garvin launches a bit of a rash shot from the short corner. Contested, no real rebounders in there.
No one in position, but there's probably better options, but she took it.
The Cyclones launch through Ellenberg, three's no good.
And you look at Rocky, there's players walking, you know, they're starting to really fatigue.
Cox comes off that punch screen, finds Beck in the corner, who kicks it onto the wide open Walsh. Another open three. The Flames up 34.
Coach Muggeridge might need to find a timeout shortly to rest some people. or concede and start playing the bench.
Look, you're never going to concede in a semi-final, obviously, but I'm sure.
In this situation, something needs to happen.
So Clifford off the O board, they find her air ball, and then turnover by the Cyclones. It'll be Flames ball off the Cyclones' leg.
And as we say that, some subs come in. You know, they're just missing point blank now. They're just, you know, that's, you can't put down, you're either not practicing it or you're fatigued. Rocky are missing everything at point blank.
Evans and Morrow back into the game, and you see Cyclones now in the zone.
Yep.
Just trying to slow Townsville down, you would imagine.
I'd expect that for almost the rest of the game now.
Andrews and Fowler in for Townsville. Fowler finds Cox in the corner, who then kicked to Andrews. Step back by Cox, but blocked by Ellenberg. Used her length fantastically there. Then in transition finishes for 2. That's where Cox, you can see, she just worried a little bit about Ellenberg's length. So Beck open for 3 now against his own, launches it. No good. And Morrow comes up with the scraps. Couple of rash shots there by the Flames against this zone. And now Ellenberg gets the foul called on Andrews. Nice attack there. That's been consistently the way the game's been called.
But they've had more success with the last 2 zone defences having 2 stops in a row, which I don't think has happened for the whole game.
And timeout called here by the Flames. So Coach St. Marie, with the way they've executed against that zone for a couple of possessions.
And he'll address that. He'll get that high-low post action going and the post-to-post feeding game going. So it'll be interesting to see if they stay in the zone, but I don't see any other answer for Rockhampton. Bench, and the coaches are only just getting to them right now to communicate. I think it's more of a cigarette break than a discussion.
And the game just about to resume down in Ipswich. They've finally sorted the clock issues out there. And Ipswich leading 51-44 at half-time. The men's semi-final has also just recently started in Mackay, the first men's semi-final, with Mackay hosting Cairns. And at the moment, the Cairns Marlins leading in the first minute and a half. They're leading 5-4 over the home Meteors. Second semi-final in the men's obviously taking place here after this game with the Townsville Heat hosting the Brisbane Capitals.
We see Alex Fowler into the game, you know, so it'll be interesting to see the high-low and whether she's been barked at about blocking out, but good opportunity for Alex. It's now down to a 30-point game.
30-point game now, so Flames see what they come out with against this zone out of the timeout, what corrections have been made. Taking their time, they find the ball into one of the short corner areas. Fowler a little bit loose with it, almost turns it over. Garvin finds Andrews for the 3. Beck missing, just launching in from the O board from the side there.
There's 3 stops in a row there for Rocky, so they're going to be happy with that. But if Townsville are smart, they're really packing that zone in and drawing a lot of weak side help. You got some perimeter shooters on the weak side, you get some easy buckets there with skip passes.
So Ellenberg for 3, misses. Now it's Flames ball in transition, trying to beat the setup of this zone. Beck explores early and then finds Andrews. Nice dive from the wing, no good. Great boards there, worked by Garvin, and Beck just gets enough on the ball to get it back out. Garvin, attack from the elbow, off the glass for 2.
And you can see those perimeter players just totally unguarded, so that's going to bite them somewhere.
Cyclones looking to try and find Bogue inside there, but she had to leave the keyway. Evans launches over a contested hand by Beck. Flames 4-on-2 in transition. Beck makes the basket and the foul, and will go to the foul line for the M1. Nice little check there of a run by Fowler. Just got to the top of the keyway, had the Rocky defender on her back, and just stopped for that split second, which opened up that lane for Beck to get through.
And I like this sub, you know, bringing Vanderjack in to give Darcy a rest there, because she'll get a bit of time in the last quarter, I'd suggest, Darcy, to make sure the nails are in the coffin, but this is also good for Beck Vanderjack.
And look, 3-game series, the grand final, so you would think the Flames are heading there. It'll be important for Vanderjack to get in and get her confidence out of this last bit of the game. Evans, hard attack at the rim there, gets fouled and will go to the foul line for 2. That was Beck's 4th foul, so she'll come to the bench now. Brennan re-enters the game. So a little bit top-sided team for the Flames right now. You would think that Fowler's probably gone to the 3 here now.
And Evans' last 2 times down the court, she's been very aggressive at the basket, so if she keeps up with that, she'll get some points production, I dare say.
Shot made by Evans. The Flames lead by 33.
This weak side is so open. Michaela Cox just sitting there with no one on her. The extra pass. She's so open she can run in and get the rebound.
Cox gets the board, finds Brennan open on the 3-point line, knocks down another 3. Brennan having a great night.
Yeah, let's not guard her. She has such a good first half, you might make an adjustment.
And the Cyclones deeper into their bench now with Frampton into the game for her first minutes. As we see both the Rockhampton imports on the sideline now.
So I'd like to see Michaela shoot that when she receives it. You know, play herself into the game a little. And as I was talking about before, if Fowler had a look to the weak side, there was no one guarding Hayley Andrews. Absolutely no one. So punch it in, punch it out weak, you're going to get buckets for Jan.
Cox gets a rest, Walsh into the game, and then the Flames find Fowler off that baseline out of bounds. She makes the score, fouled by Frampton, and Fowler will go to the line for the bonus shot.
I cannot believe how often Townsville get that play. It is just open every single time against every single team.
So down in Ipswich, 1-point game now, the Force leading the Spartans 55-54. Rockhampton just slow tempo here. We're going to find Blair off that staggered weak side screen. No good with the shot, but Bogue gets the O board. Nice putback.
You know, you'd expect a bit of a comeback here with the whole Townsville bench on, but it'll be interesting to see if we can get a bit of further spread. If this bench team can get a further spread on Rocky, you may as well holster the guns.
Vanderjack just forced pass there. Andrews picks up the scraps on the loose side. Walsh finds Fowler underneath the rim off good penetration. Another 2 points for Fowler. And in the last minute of this third quarter, the Flames lead by 37. Bogue, nice attack, but Vanderjack comes down, gets a piece of the ball, but took it out of bounds. So it'll be Cyclones ball from the baseline here.
Yeah, absolutely clean there. And, you know, there's Bogue wants a foul on that. No way. Beck's length got a piece of that.
Bogue attacks Vanderjack, kicks out and finds Frampton. Morrow looking to find Bogue inside, no good. Jump ball called as the shot clock expires. So the referees are asking the score bench to put 1 second back on the shot clock. It'll be Cyclones ball here from the baseline with 1 second. Blair to inbound. Finds Bogue, has to launch the 3. Nowhere near the rim. Shot clock violation. And it'll be Flames for the last possession with 23.7 seconds
some
left.
confusion in that play too. A couple of players were screening and others were just had no idea it was coming.
Steal by Blair on Andrews. 2 points, converts back the other way. Now as the clock starts to run down, 5 seconds. 3, 2, Brennan launches the three. No good. And at three-quarter time at Star FM Stadium, the Townsville Flames, first place Flames, lead 86-51, looking to continue their great season through to a grand final berth at home next week, where Rockhampton really need the miracle of all miracles right now to pull back this 35-point deficit with 1 quarter to go to keep their season alive.
Yeah, there's Coach Muggeridge expression, purse your lips together, puff your cheeks up and exhale a big breath of air is exactly what you do in this situation. They've got nothing. This thing's over. You look at the other coaches and they're going into the timeout telling jokes. The zone worked for Rocky, as in slowing it down, but if they can't get buckets on the other end, forget it. It's almost mercy rule time.
So at three-quarter time, the Flames leading scorers, Darcy Garvin already with the double-double, 21 points and 12 rebounds. Stella Beck also with 21 points and 7 rebounds to go along with that. Hayley Andrews, Lisa Brennan with 10, Walsh and Cox with 9, and Fowler with 6. While for the Cyclones, Bogue with 12, Ellenberg with 11, Dowdell with 10, and then Blair with 7, and then a number of 3. So massive margin here that we really would not imagine in any way, shape or form to be pulled back. If we look at the other semi-final just quickly, Ipswich leading with 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Spartans just hit the lead, leading 62-60. And in Mackay, in the men's first semi-final, the Meteors leading the Marlins 20-17 through 7 minutes in the first quarter. Sorry, Shane, you were saying?
No, for me, I was just going to say I keep running the heck out of the bench, and as I look down, I see Mike and the coaching staff have opted to do that. You got a massive buffer zone. Let's let the stars rest. Let's let these guys. Some of these guys may not get time in the final, so this is a bit of glory time.
The last quarter is underway here. Andrews finds Fowler off the pick and roll. Fowler to the rim. Foul called on Bogue, and Fowler will go to the foul line now for 2.
Yeah, really nice pass by Hayley there. And going away to college, that's the sort of thing she's going to be expected to do if she's playing any point guard role. So great execution.
The Cyclones against the extended pressure. Another new player out there for the Cyclones with Jess Lorraway out on the court. So it looks like Coach Muggeridge pretty much has conceded this game now. You see Dowdell on the bench with her warm-up shirt on. It looks like Ellenberg does as well. So I would imagine we're not going to see them back into the game unless something weird or wonderful happens right now. Blair attack at the rim, picks up the foul as Fowler comes over on help.
See, here's the other danger. I don't think there's much in that, but now the referees get the sympathy thing happening. So, have they been let go the whole game? Haven't they? If they have, continue to ref away. Don't feel sorry.
And this crowd's continuing to build right now for the second matchup tonight as the Townsville Heat will take on the Brisbane Capitals in the second men's semi-final. The Heat obviously hoping for a win here tonight and for their neighbours from up the road, Cairns, to knock off Mackay to be a chance of hosting the grand final next weekend.
Yeah, Cairns Mackay are going to be interesting. That's been a danger game for them in the past with Cairns even beating them down in Mackay. So no doubt that Mackay and Townsville are the premier team, so wouldn't Townsville be happy if that was to occur?
So Walsh misses with the 3 there, and then now the rebounding contest. Ball locked up, possession arrow with the Cyclones. Good to see the couple of these Rockhampton bench players getting an opportunity here to get out, and they've obviously got to be the future of the Cyclones, a lot of these local players. Launched by Morrow, no good. And the Flames with the ball through Brennan on the wing.
Brennan just ripped that out of her hands and said no thank you, and down went number 14.
Frampton went down there, and Andrews, nice baseline penetration, finds Walsh in a good receiver spot, knocks down the two.
And Walsh has been good at hitting those tonight. I don't recall her missing one of them.
Commentator's cursor, short a hit right there. As out of the turnover, Vanderjagt finds Fowler, who thought it was going to be a turnover, but the refs have called it off the Cyclones. And Ellenberg is coming back into the game here. Lorraway back to the bench. One last crack for the Cyclones. Flames through, Walsh launches the three from up high, misses.
There it was, the curse.
Good job, Mr. Froling. Launch three by Blair is no good. Big board by Andrews, and the Flames trying to initiate the breakthrough. Fowler, and Blair picked up the foul there. Substitutions rolling in for both sides here. Lorraway, Clifford and Evans back into the game for Rockhampton, and the Flames, Cox and Beck re-entering the game. Just side-to-side action here by the Flames. Vanderjagt finds Beck. Shot clock starting to run low. Cox forced into a tough shot at the short corner, but makes it contested. Clifford launches the transition three. Nothing but net.
Might as well throw them up. That's the only hope they have of making any buckets early.
Clifford has a history of being a good shooter in the QBL. Over many years, she's been quite a good catch and shoot, three-point shooter. So if she's left open, she'll knock down those shots. In transition, launches another one, off this time. And the Flames just really slowing the tempo down now. Trying to make sure they look after the ball.
Yeah, all they have to do is execute, the little things, good forward leads, good blockouts on defence, and it takes care of business.
Fowler missed shot from the elbow, and then Vanderjagt picks up the foul on the rebounding contest, and now Garvin re-enters the game for Fowler. Coach St. Maurice obviously just trying to make sure, Garvin missing last week, doesn't want to lose that balance out of the roster, wants to get her back in and make sure that she's in tip-top shape for the final next week.
And I usually like to play games that you're winning with 2 or 3 bench players or with 2 or 3 starters, but in today's game you could run the whole bench the way this is blown out.
Clifford launches another three, no good. And Beck gets the board. Looks to push out of the backcourt. Nice little hesitation move. Cox and Garvin out of the on-ball screen. Cox gets deep into the seam. Fouled, and will go to the foul line for 2. Foul called there on Lorraway.
It's actually become a really hard game to talk about. You're just searching for things to say because, as any coach in this position on either bench would say, this shit is over. So finding something to say is really difficult. Not the sort of thing you want to be saying as a coach when it's a semi-final, unfortunately.
So Flames drop back into a zone here now. Turnover forced. They'll come back down with the lead at 38 here for the Flames. Beck forces the ball up through the D, but no good. Knocked out of bounds, the Cyclones ball. So looking at the other semi-final, it's a 1-point game, so a little bit more exciting down in Ipswich right now. I suppose we can probably start to talk about, Shane, the potential matchups for the grand final next week. So the Flames throughout the regular season, Ipswich they beat in Ipswich. Spartans they got absolutely belted at home by. So I would have thought, Coach St. Marie's probably just for that mental edge would prefer Ipswich to get home through this game. But we'll see, what approach he takes. If the Spartans come up here, do you see them doing anything different to what they did in that regular season game we called earlier in the year?
Look, for me, Townsville have been pretty consistent with their game. There's nothing really they have to change. The formula works, a bit of full court pressure, run it down their throat. They've got some really good players in Darcy Garvin, Michaela Cox, and Stella Beck stepped it up, and then you got the workhorses. So I don't see a whole lot changing on their end. They just really have to study up on whichever team gets through and make sure they cut out their main sets.
So Ellenberg makes the long two on that last possession. Garvin goes to work down in the post, answers with another two.
The other thing I'm doing as a coach is I'm looking at what opposition teams have done against them all year and what's been successful. What defence has really bothered them consistently. Individual players, what don't they like? And they're the things I want to target on, because every couple of buckets I can reduce helps me win that title.
And look, you've got a couple of smart coaches in that other semi-final. Brad George was involved with the SEQ Stars when they were in the WNBL for a few years as an assistant coach, worked with Shane Heel and would have learnt a lot working with Hammer through that season. And then you've got Beck Haynes, who's a QBL veteran, player. And now, not Beck Haynes, Rebecca Stevens, who's a QBL veteran player, now turned over to coach. Last year went undefeated with the Spartans through the whole season, and I had the pleasure of working with her with the Queensland under-20s this year, and she's a very intelligent coach and someone who I think can go on to do great things. So both those teams we know will be well prepared for whatever the Flames throw at them next week.
That's probably why those teams are in the finals, Good coaches get their messages across, and if you've got good teams who are willing to work, you often have success. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at a group I've had and gone, my goodness, how am I going to make this work? But they're good players who put in and they get you across the line.
So Cyclones launch a three here through Evans, which is no good. Flames come up with the D-board, 40-point game, 40-point lead for the Flames with 3.5 minutes to go here. As Fowler goes to work out of the low block. Nice little baseline move.
That's something more I'd like to see of Alex. Alex sometimes isn't that aggressive, but that was a good, quick spin move. And she was always going to the bucket, so good to see.
Evans gets into the lane, runs into a brick wall in Fowler and throws the shot up, no good. Now the Flames, Beck finds Fowler in transition and she's now fouled. We'll go to the foul line. Foul called here on Ashley Frampton.
And the bench will finish out this game. Stella Beck, sensational game tonight. She's been great at penetration. Michaela Cox, is always a great leader. As I said, I'd still like to see more scoring out of her. So come grand final time, we'll see her hopefully step it up. And the bench already, look at them locked in, telling each other what to do next set of down on defence.
The Flames have passed 100 now, 102 to 58. We'll give a quick shout out because I'm sure she's watching over in the States. No matter what time it is, I'm sure Mila Goodchild's up. She's settled into her dorms. I've seen some photos on social media this week and enjoying her time at Duke already. So Mila, the girls have got that job done for you tonight and looking to get themselves into a championship game for the Flames for the first time in quite a few years.
And she's at a beautiful campus. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's a college that's been built very much in a copy of an English stone type model college. So beautiful place to be.
The Flames pick up a foul there, just a little reach in by Vanderjagt. Cyclones, nice little give and go there. And Lorraway launched herself at the rim, picked up the foul on Fowler, and will go to the foul line for 2. Some positive signs from a couple of these Rockhampton girls that have just gotten a few opportunities late in the game. We know we'll see most of them in Cyclones colours again next year, what Coach Muggeridge decides to do as far as the import spots. Dowdell's been there for a number of years now, so whether we'll see her return again next year for Rocky or they go in a different direction.
We've got bench versus bench here at the moment, and it is usually uglier basketball, but great opportunity for these guys. And as I said, I do find it hard to find things to say about this, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there in television land going, thank God they've shut up for a minute.
Quite possibly. Look, I would imagine we'd have a lot of our viewers over watching the other game right now as well, with the Force leading by 1 just near the start of the 4th quarter in Ipswich.
And there's Beck Vanderjack's first bucket. That's something to get excited about. Nice jump shot. We see a horrible inbound pass.
Turnover by Blair there, just picked off easily by Townsville. We're inside the last 2 minutes now. Andrews' penetration from the wing. Nice little floater. Makes it 2. We'll see a substitution for Rockhampton with Morrow coming back into the game.
And I'd suspect that young Harriet Carey is still injured because she hasn't hit the court yet. But, you know, otherwise I'm sure she would have been on the floor by now. But she's up there yelling and shouting and making all sorts of noise. So good to see her supporting, even though injured.
The ankle possibly still a little tender after last week's game, and Coach St. Marie's probably just thinking, when you're up this much, why risk a little retweak or anything like that when they might need her next weekend. Clifford, nice little 2-point runner. Bobbled in up, but bounced in the end.
Hit every side of the rim and the backboard to get that one in.
Nice little reach around from behind. Clifford gets the steal on Andrews there, then gets the reward, running transition, making the 2-point basket.
Going back, I actually thought Brennan should have passed that to Walsh. Didn't even look at her coming off that turnout screen there. She went the opposite way really early.
Walsh makes the 2 at the elbow. The Flames lead 45 points. No good from the Cyclones. And the big Townsville crowd starting to make a little bit of a noise, knowing that this Flames team will definitely be at home next weekend, hosting the best of 3 grand final series for QBL, as Hayley Andrews knocks down a 3 just to put some icing on the cake.
Coach Muggeridge is packing his backpack already. The game's not over. He's walking up to shake hands. There's still 30 seconds, or 15 seconds, and it's done. That is going to be a horrible bus trip back to Rock Vegas, or to ease the pain, they're going to have to drink a lot of alcohol.
Coach Muggeridge all the way down to Townsville's bench right now, going through and shaking their bench players' hands. It's been a comprehensive 111 to 63 victory to the Townsville Flames as they go now into their first grand final, I think possibly in the last decade. They went back-to-back a couple of years back in around 2005, I'm going to say 2008, 2009.
Coach Muggeridge cannot get out of here quick enough. Get me on that bus and get me back to Rock Vegas, please. Anyway, credit to Townsville. They did a fantastic job, lived up to it, and no doubt favourites for next week. But every grand final team's lift, so they're going to have to bring their A game. So got to give a special shout out to Beck, didn't she step it up for him? And Brennan. Gosh, step off me, I'm going to nail the shots. great job.
She certainly did. And so we run through some quick final stats. Darcy Garvin leading scorers for Townsville with 23 points and 13 rebounds. Beck with 21 and 10 rebounds, a double-double for her as well. And then Cox Walsh 13, Andrews with 15 off the bench, Brennan with 12, Fowler with 12. So that's 7 Townsville players in double figures. And for Rockhampton, Ellenberg led their scorers with 13, Bogue with 12, Dowdell with 10, Blair with 11, and Clifford with 10. So the Townsville Flames now will play host next weekend to the best of 3 grand final series against the winner of the Ipswich Force and Southern District Spartans. Just a quick check-in on that game. We're into the fourth quarter, a couple of minutes into the fourth quarter now, and the Spartans leading by 1 right now down in Ipswich. So that one will certainly go right down to the wire. We'll take a short break here from Star FM Stadium and then be back shortly for the men's second semi-final with the Townsville Heat playing host to the Brisbane Capitals.